For 21 years, the people of one small Tennessee town believed two missing teenagers had simply run away. There were rumors. There were theories. But the truth had been sitting in plain sight the entire time. 13 feet underwater, just off the side of a road everyone in town had driven 1,000 times. The town is Sparta, Tennessee. The year was 2000. Erin Foster was 18, described by people who knew her as a perfectionist, the kind of person who planned things out. Jeremy Bechtel was 17, an athlete and one of Erin's closest friends at White County High School. On the night of April 3rd, 2000, the two of them went to a party together. At some point that evening, they swung back by Erin's parents' house before heading out again. Jeremy called his father that night. Erin was seen by her brother. Around 10 p.m., the two teens were last seen getting into Erin's car, a black 1988 Pontiac Grand Am. After that, nothing. No sightings, no trace, no car. When Erin didn't come home the next day, her family assumed at first she might have simply stayed out. She was 18, and she'd already been talking about eventually moving out on her own. But a day turned into two, and panic set in fast. Search efforts began almost immediately, but they turned up nothing. No abandoned car, no witnesses, no leads. As the days turned into weeks, and then into years, rumors filled the vacuum where facts should have been. Some believed the teens had run away together. Others suspected something far darker. A few even speculated they'd left the state entirely and started new lives somewhere else. Meanwhile, their families were left with nothing but questions. The case went cold for over a decade. In 2011, White County Sheriff Steve Page took over the investigation and began revisiting old leads with fresh eyes. But even then, the answer stayed hidden for another 10 years. Here's the detail that makes this case so haunting. The road those teens were last seen driving on, Highway 84, didn't have a guardrail back in 2000. It was only added years later. Dive teams had actually searched parts of the area over the years, but investigators generally assumed that if a car had gone into the water nearby, there would have been visible damage to the guardrail. Since there wasn't, that stretch of river was largely ruled out. The truth is, there was nothing to rule out, because there was no guardrail there in 2000 to show damage in the first place. The break came from an unexpected source, a volunteer civilian cold case investigator and diver named Jeremy Sides. In November 2021, using sonar technology, Sides located a vehicle submerged in the Calf-Killer River right next to Highway 84, 13 feet below the surface. When he returned days later to dive down and confirm what he'd found, the license plate matched Erin Foster's car. The remains found inside the vehicle were confirmed to be Erin and Jeremy's. Investigators believe Erin likely lost control of the car on that stretch of Highway 84 and went into the river. An accident, not a crime, though the full picture may never be entirely certain. For Erin's father, Cecil Foster, the news brought a strange kind of grief, relief and heartbreak arriving at the same moment after 2 decades of not knowing. He said he's grateful to everyone involved in finally bringing his daughter home, while also grappling with the fact that the answer had, in some sense, always been there to find. Sheriff Page has since asked his department to revisit other cold cases, with the same renewed perspective that cracked this one open. A reminder that sometimes the most painful mysteries aren't the result of some elaborate cover-up. Sometimes they're the result of one detail, a missing guardrail, a stretch of water nobody double-checked, that simply got overlooked. 21 years, 2 families who never stopped wondering, and an answer that, in the end, had been 13 feet underwater the whole time. If this case moved you, subscribe. Every week we cover another unsolved case, cold case, or disappearance that deserves to be remembered.